What if healing was more than a treatment? What if healing also occurred in community with courage and trust? Whenever I do a gathering, and it's just so wonderful that we can come together as a community, and I just want to share the highlights of the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit for Cancer and Autoimmune Disease. And one of the groups that helped me the most when I was planning this event was the Annie Appleseed Project. And so today we're going to highlight them. Going back, just know that my event that we planned on November 1st went phenomenal. The people, the speakers, the vendors, everything was amazing. And now it's time to shift gears to help others who have helped us, which is a part of healing. A part of healing is to be able to receive, but as well to give. And I am so privileged today that we're going to be talking about how wonderful the Annie Appleseed Project, it's been around since 1999, started by the late Anne Fonfa. It's hard for me to say the late Anne Fonfa, but she passed away. She was a strong leader when it came to cancer. She experienced her journey and lived many, many years helping support so many other people. Picking up the baton is Julia Chiappetta. And I met Julia many years ago, and now we finally get to really truly get to speak to one another. Because usually, when I'm about to speak to her, she's in the middle of doing an event or planning an event, and she is right now doing that. But we're going to be able to learn and grow with her today because she is an amazing woman who's taking her experience and helping others, just like Anne did. And you're going to get to know her today. So get your paper, your pencils, and know that it is time to learn and grow together. Take lots of notes because you're going to be getting a discount with a different code so that you can attend this event on February 26th through 28th, 2026. So yes, there's lots of time, but there's no time. Time is now. So let's learn and grow together.
And when you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here waiting for you.
Hi, my name is Lily McDermott, and I am a certified life coach, a certified holistic cancer coach, and the host of the Lillian McDermott Radio Show Classroom. If this is your first time in the classroom, please know I've been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can go when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide natural ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friend, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. You know, it is always wonderful when you meet someone that is so like-minded, that understands that it is in giving that we receive, and that when we receive, we need to be gracious about it and be aware that giving needs to happen. And this is what happens when it comes to receiving health and wellness as well. And I'm really so excited that Julia Chiappetta is going to take the time because she could be doing anything, anywhere more than being here, but she's chosen to be here today. And I want all of you to make note of her story, her sacrifices, and how you can benefit from the journey of those who God sent first. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am grateful that Julia Chiappetta is here to do just that. Welcome, Julia, to the classroom. I'm so glad that you're here.
Oh my gosh, this is so much fun, Lily. We've known each other for so long, and you are a gracious host,
Oh,
and
thank you.
I love you. Your heart is huge. And you're right. I mean, love and compassion, mercy, the fruits of the spirit, really. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness are all so important in what we do and how we do it and how we approach it, and it is our life work. It is our calling, and I'm just so honored to be here. This is so much
Oh,
fun. I've
oh.
never been in the classroom
Well, the
before.
fun is just about to begin, my dear. Okay, here we go. So, share a little bit about your background because you have a very, very like solid and just you have so much that you've done in your life. And what led you to the Annie Appleseed Project?
It was 25 years ago. I was about to run a mini triathlon. I was living in Greenwich, Connecticut, where I was born and where I lived for most of my life. I was a meeting planner, traveling around the world, producing events, doing marketing, etc. And started in the travel industry as a tour and travel manager. And I felt a lump on the outer right edge of my breast, and it felt foreign to me. And so I had just had a mammogram 2 months prior, my annual mammogram, went to see my gynecologist. She felt it. She said, yes, it feels different. Went for another mammogram, which was negative, and they told me to come back in 6 months. And I said, no, 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 I need to have a biopsy. There's something wrong. They, much to their displeasure, said, okay, had a biopsy, and I heard the words, you have stage 2B infiltrating ductal carcinoma, very aggressive cancer. You need to have a double mastectomy, probably some chemo, radiation, and tamoxifen. And that was when my world stopped. I got on my knees and I prayed, which is how I process. And I asked God for peace, which He actually gave me in that moment. And I also knew that I was not going to do chemo, radiation, or drugs because I had seen so many people that I knew die such horrible deaths from the treatments in my big, huge Italian family. So I embarked on a journey with a friend who I was training with to do research with the courage from God to step out into the road less traveled and embrace what is all over the internet today with all these influencers and people talking about alternative and integrative approaches, and actually put together, with the help of some experts, my own healing protocol. So what did that consist of? That consisted of cleaning out my entire house. Got a dumpster, threw out clothing, carpeting, microwave, all my cleaning products, all my food products, all my body products, shampoos, conditioners, toothpaste. So I figured I needed to start with fertile ground in order to heal and truly heal and find the root causes. So you hear these words, root causes, and you hear these words, an integrative approach, juice fast, detoxing. I did it all. And I kind of haphazardly did some of it, but I then found my experts who guided me through this journey. Now, mind you, this was in the year 2000. So there wasn't a whole lot on the internet like there is today on Instagram. You can go and pop up a 30-second or a 30-minute video about you should do this, take that. There was nothing back then. And one of my friends from my hometown, David Wales, who owns American Biosciences, was going to this conference, the Annie Appleseed Conference. And he said, you need to come to the conference. And better yet, I'm going to introduce you to Aunt Bonfa, the founder, and you're going to produce her event for free as a gift. And I said, okay, that sounds good. So that's how I met Anne. We became friends. She shared with me all of her knowledge, and the rest is history.
Isn't that amazing? Whenever, and I just did a class on this, let your yes be greater than your fear. It's like you knew what you wouldn't do, but how did you know in the year 2000 when there was no internet, there was nothing so disposable at our disposal as it is today? What gave you that knowing at that moment? I know you saw the people pass before you, maybe from the treatment as opposed to the actual issue. But how did you know there would be something else for you out there?
Well, I grew up in a big Italian family. Both of my grandparents came through Ellis Island. They lived off the land in Connecticut where I lived. They had farms and gardens and chickens and goats, and everything we were consuming and that was healing us was from the dirt. So I went back to the dirt, the roots of
Wow.
my dirt, which is really the regenerative farm movement that's taking place right now. That's how I grew up. So if there was something wrong with me, my grandmother would make a tea with nettle or some other herb in the
Wow.
garden, mustard seeds. She would make all kinds of things for bee stings and tummy aches and headaches and using bark and using all the herbs in the garden. So I thought, I need to get back to the dirt. I need to
Wow.
get back to my roots. And it just it was amazing, Lily, because I had active cancer and I was also simultaneously diagnosed with lupus. So
Hmm.
I was dealing with this double diagnosis, but actually the protocol for healing these inflammatory acidic, issues that I was dealing with was the same through diet. And so I, as an Italian, became a raw food vegan and did a 30-day cleanse, just green juice, water and lemon, cayenne pepper, little maple syrup, and I did a cleanse to rid my body of some of the things that were making me sick. And I saw parasites coming out of my body, and I saw different colors of things coming out of my body. So I wanted to make the ground fertile and then implement this diet. So I essentially became a raw food vegan following what is known as the Gerson diet,
Hmm.
Hippocrates diet now. And then it was very foreign to me and really hard not to eat cheese and pasta and bread and chicken and fish. And, I was eating things I'd never heard of. And that's where I started. And of course, I was studying as I was implementing this. And somehow it was like a green plant that hadn't been watered for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. You go on a business trip, you come back, all your plants are dying on your
Yeah.
counter in your kitchen. And somehow you start watering them and you see little buds. And that's how my body felt. And
Wow.
I had active cancer and lupus, but somehow started to feel really good for the first time in a long time. And I realized that I'd been dealing with this for probably a couple of years before I knew I had it because of my busy life and all the stress and the trauma and the drama that goes into our daily living. That was the beginning.
You know, what a similarity we have here because when I started the classroom with a radio show at the time, it was a radio show, and I had someone bring raw vegan food to the station. And I said, why are you bringing these people that eat drink beer and pizza and chicken wings every day? Bring it to my show. I like to eat healthy, so I thought I was eating healthy. And so I booked him to come on the show, but he had to bring food because I had never tasted anything so wonderful ever. And so he brought food, and while he did we were doing the show together, he challenged me to a 30-day raw vegan, go raw vegan. And I said, bring it. I can do anything that's legal and healthy for 30 days. So like, let me just try it. So after 4 days of eating raw vegan, which by the way were the roughest first 2 weeks of my husband, it was like he lost 10 pounds. You know, and because it was like learning a new language. And I remember thinking after 4 days, I feel really good. But I
Mm.
didn't feel bad, Julia. I just didn't know I could feel better. How many people do you see today when they're telling you, I don't feel bad, but they don't know they could feel better? We have accepted dis-ease and chronic conditions as our everyday path. What do you say to them today, knowing what you know?
Well, I tell them that it's somewhat a miracle how well you can feel. And your skin, your hair, your nails, your sleep, your energy, your stamina, it all feels so good. And I remember saying to my mom at the time, who is still alive at 93 and in amazing shape. I said, you know, Mom, feel like I did when I was around 11 years old.
Wow.
I have that energy, and I think my parents gave me a lot of gumption to do what I did because my mother, who was 30 years old with three kids, I was five, had uterine cancer, went to the hospital, had surgery. At the time, they wanted her to stay and have chemo. And my mom looked at the doctors, and she told me this years later, of course. And she said, I don't have time for chemo. I have three young kids at home. I'll be fine. And she never looked back and she never did a drug or did any treatments. And now she's 93,
Good for her.
and lives very pure, right? So, but I had that gumption from my grandmothers and my mother, and that's what's hereditary.
Mhm.
Lily, we talk about what is hereditary. Well,
Mhm.
we know that most cancers are not hereditary.
Correct.
We know that 85 to 90% of cancers are environmental, meaning, how you live your life, diet, lifestyle, etc. Stress is a huge thing, trauma, mind body connection. But I had this gumption from the women in my life, great grandmother, grandmother, my mother, and they teach us how to live, how to manage life, how to manage stress, what we eat, how we eat it, And so those are the things that I found were hereditary. Nobody in my entire family has ever had breast cancer or lupus. So you go figure, right?
Well, I always say, and it's so funny, we are so much in alignment. I always say that we don't, in 1% of our DNA may cause disease. Maybe you learn about it when you're born. But what we do inherit, if 1%, that means 99% of what causes disease is, the family recipes, the way we learn how they act, eat, sleep, handle stress. Those are all the things that we truly inherit. But the good news is it's all changeable. We can
Yes.
rewrite it. We can rewrite it. I'm going to be doing a webinar on December 2nd called Rewrite Your Stories. I am the solution. The I am is the God in us that is in us to help us through all these trials that we have. And although I love the peace and I love the flowing in life, but it's when we see those storms, the rain, the all the things that happen that we think are to us is really for us so that
It
we
is.
can learn these new truths that we've learned along the way. That we don't have to get like the people that are closest to you do not have to get lupus or do not have to get cancer, because here's your example. No one had cancer. No one's had cancer in my family. I've had a family member that had cancer, but it wasn't, but again, if everybody continues to believe that, then we're going to continue mimicking what our parents do without changing anything. But that's the good news, that if we are creating our own by how we act, eat, think, sleep, handle stress, if we're creating it, we can uncreate it like you did. So as you move forward, have you continued to be vigilant? Because one of the things I notice when people are in crisis mode, when they change their life, they do it really well. But once the crisis is over, they go back to the same habits that caused
Yes.
the disease. So tell me about, how do you deal with people that you come in contact? What is your philosophy when it comes to something that worked for you? Do you continue doing it for the rest of your life? Or do you modify some of those behaviors to adapt with a new lifestyle?
Well, first, I just want to say I totally agree with you because we can't waste our storm.
Mhm,
So we have to use that storm to bring us to a new place.
mhm,
And when I went through what I went through, it was years of research, implementing, learning, and trying. new protocols. I had to become the CEO, CFO, CTO, CMO over my own body, my own life, and take charge. And so it's a decision that you make for the rest of your life. The people that do a protocol and then try another one and then try another one and then kind of waver, and I hear the words, well, I cheated today, or I cheated yesterday, or I'm cheating now and I'm doing such and such. Well, you're kind of cheating your way back to the root cause of why you became sick in the first place. Because as soon as you start seeing those symptoms, your body is telling you something. So for me, being an athlete most of my life and being disciplined, I wanted to get to the root cause. And so I continue to this day to do research. Now, there's all this new stuff coming down the pike that you and I have tried. I'm sure you have too, like ozone IVs. And I mean, I did IVs, I did, alpha-lipoic acid, vitamin C, you name it, I did it. But there's all this other stuff. There's EBU, there's hyperbaric, but you constantly have to be tweaking your protocol. And the most important part of that in determining how you do that, in my humble opinion, are diagnostics. So you have to go and have diagnostics to assess the metabolic terrain, as Dr. Nasha Winters teaches us. The metabolic terrain is extremely important. We need to know what's going on. I just recently had one of our medical board, one of the doctors on our medical board who I love, who is now helping me in this phase of my life, Dr. Strout, Dr. Tracy Strout. She actually ordered some new tests that I'd never done before. And these are not tests that your conventional doctor would order. So, they're tests that determine what's going on with your body systems, your terrain, your gut, and your hormones. And so now I'm looking at all these different aspects of my body. And as you age and as you get older, you need to continually figure out, what does my body need? Okay, my vitamin D now is at 90, which is where I want it to be, because of my autoimmune disease and my breast cancer. But back when I was getting my vitamin D done years ago, I was at 30, 40, and my doctors were saying, you're fine. So you constantly have to be figuring out, what does my body need? What doesn't it need? And I see a lot of people going online, looking at an advertisement for methylene blue or curcumin or whatever it happens to be, nicotine patches, all the hot topics that are out there now. And then they're saying, oh, I'm going to buy these and I'm going to try it. Well, maybe your body doesn't need that particular thing, but maybe it needs something else based on what is identified in your diagnostics. So I always tell people who ask me, who call our phone lines, what does your body need? What do you feel? What's going on in your life? And so unless you know what's going on inside, it's kind of hard to put something in to help you if it's only going to use energy to break it down in your body to eliminate it, and it's not really benefiting you because it's not really doing what you want it to do. It's not absorbing where you want it to absorb. So it's the basics. Rest. The only time our cells can heal is when we're either sleeping or not digesting food. High oxygen environment, hydrated environment, alkaline environment, pH, so important. 80% of all diseases are acidic based. Diet and nutrition. What are you putting into your body? What are you putting into your brain? What are you putting into your heart? The basics of overall health. We were born pH, perfect pH, right? God created us coming out of the womb that way. So there's just basic things that people could look at and understand and implement. Sleep is so important. I need a little more sleep right now because I just had a hip replacement surgery after
Mm.
40 years of sports. My surgeon said, you're Italian, your body's a little Ferrari, you need a new part. So I had a little part put in and I haven't slept well for about a month, but you need sleep and it's so restorative, right? So, I mean, high oxygen, alkalinity, hydration, and rest, right? That's a foundation for all of us. And then you factor in the mind body aspect of it. So I had gone through something really traumatic right before my diagnosis. It was probably brewing, for a while because
Mhm.
most cancers and autoimmune diseases are brewing for 5 to 10 years before
Yep.
you really realize you have them, right?
Yep.
But I had gone through something very traumatic in my life, and I can see where that affected what happened to my body. And then you blend in my extreme sports, marathons, running, et cetera, et cetera. So there's lots of factors.
Mhm.
And as I went through the years, it was like a very cathartic experience of getting rid of, dealing with all of those things that were making me sick. And it's humbling. It's really humbling.
It is. It really is. And I'm grateful to hear you say that because it is in the acknowledgement. Because in Hosea it says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. It wasn't that they didn't have the knowledge, is that they rejected it. And sometimes we
Yes.
know this, we understand this, and but we still reject it, especially the mind-body connection, the spirit connection. We want to work on the body. Let's fix the body because it's really easy to do. Take this pill, do this procedure, whatever. But it's what's feeding the body, that mind and the experiences. And that's why I started doing the webinar. It's a 3-hour webinar. Let's start rewriting the story because it's one of those things in life that if we don't stop the thoughts of that experience, whether we know having these thoughts or not, they're there.
Yes.
90% of our thoughts are repetitive and we don't even know they're our subconscious mind. And 80% are negative. So once we start rewriting those things and make those thoughts that are going through our mind be positive and empowering, so that we can start to release, forgive, all those things. It's amazing how our body will return to its normal place because our body just loves us back. And I love hearing your story about, because I'm sure at the beginning it was like learning a foreign language.
Oh, yeah.
But now you speak it fluently, right? You speak it fluently. So good on you. So before we switch gears, because I really do want Julia to talk about the Annie Appleseed conference, or the Appleseed Project Conference, I want to talk a little bit about whenyouneedafriend.com. As I hear her, Julia speak, I always think about, you know, what I learned along the way is that we need to become our own MD, our own medical detective. We see the white coat and tells us, this is what you have, this is how much you have to live. And we go into this white coat trance where we hear and obey. But we must learn to listen to the voice of the shepherd. I used to hate it when people would say, oh, we're like sheep. Well, sheep are pretty dumb. But the one thing that sheep know is to listen to the voice of the shepherd. They won't listen
Yes.
to the imposter. So I want to encourage all of you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com and start listening to the voice, that voice within, that I am that is in you. Go to whenyouneedafriend.com. While you're there, please subscribe to the website, then like and follow me on all social media. Then while you're there, check out my sponsors, support our sponsors the way that they're supporting the classroom. Check out, there's different ways that you can help us grow. You can become an enrolled student in the classroom, and you can donate your time, your talent, your treasure, whether it's $1, $1,000 a month, a one-time donation, or recurring donation. You can help us grow. A way that you can help us grow is by sharing this video with everybody you know. Who out there doesn't know someone who can benefit from this. You know someone right now. So do this. Check it. Just click it. Send it to your friend, someone that you just met at the grocery store. Just say, hey, I've got a video for you. I want to send it to you. This is how you help this message grow. I want to encourage you also to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. I will have the link below. If you register before November 23rd, it's the Sunday before Thanksgiving, I will give you an extra $25 off. So what would normally cost $450, I normally do it for $150. But if you register for the webinar, the 3-hour webinar on December 2nd, which is a Tuesday, and it's from 6 to 9 p.m., and you register before the Sunday before Thanksgiving, then you get an extra $25 off, and it's $125. So the link is below the description. And I want to encourage you to do everything you can to live the life that you want. And we will rewrite that story so that those thoughts in your mind will be empowering as opposed to the ones that will lead to disease. Today we have Julia Chiappetta. She mentioned all the wonderful things that she's done in the past, producer, traveling, all these wonderful things. And she probably had 1,000 dreams while she was creating all this wonderful life that she had. But once she got sick, once she heard that she was ill, she had one. And she is using this dream today to help all of us also achieve this dream. So I want to thank you, Julia. You could be anywhere, but you chose to be here right now. So I want to thank you for that.
Well, I love you. This is fun. I have my tea too. I have my little teacup here.
Oh,
But no, it's great. I mean, it was inevitable. We needed to combine forces and be together here on this call. And no, our lives have changed, both of us, for
yeah,
sure. But
they
I
are.
feel like we were called and we are where we are supposed to be. We are the women that God intended for us to be, being on the mission that we are on. And it's for a purpose. And the purpose is that we live in a hurting, very sick world, and our phones do not stop ringing. Our work phone does not stop ringing.
Mhm.
Our intake forms do not stop. They come in every day, people seeking, crying out for help right now. And somehow in the cancer world, you and I, we see these glimmers of hope right now, right? With Bobby Kennedy and Casey DeSantis in Florida, with this whole project of looking into alternative repurposed drugs for healing, not only from COVID, but for cancer. Lots of glimmers of hope that you and I have been trailblazers
Mhm.
to try to get to this
Yeah,
place. And so it's great to see it. And hopefully one day we'll meet them and we'll be able to help them.
absolutely.
I've written to Bobby through his first cousin in Greenwich, Connecticut, my hometown. And so, we all need each other. But the mission is that we need to find hope in healing. We need to give people the first best choices they can make instead of typical people coming to us, to you, to me, to others in our lane at the bottom of the ninth with no runners on base and no
Mhm.
hope, crying out to us. And the cancer industry, if you want to call it that, because it really is a business,
Yeah.
the cancer industry and all the other large cancer organizations that do all these galas and events and fundraising and raising millions and giving it to a hospital or, for research has actually netted zero in the way of new treatments. It's just burn, cut, radiate. That's it. Those are the only options. And so you think about the war on cancer, 1972, Richard Nixon, American Cancer Society came on the scene. Their mandate was that if they found a cure for cancer, that the organization would dismantle because they wouldn't need to do fundraising. We've had nothing new come down the pike. When I first got diagnosed and started doing research, I went to the World Health Organization at the time because, that was one of the resources I found. And they have a report every year to their Congress, and they report on all the disease groups. And the report on cancer always starts in the opening paragraph saying, if we could find a way to educate individuals, communities, and countries on making better diet and lifestyle choices, we could reduce cancers by 30% up to in the year 2030. Now we're 5 years, 4 years really, 4.5 years away from 2030. And it's actually gone backwards because the rates of cancers have gone up 300 to 900% in all the top 7 categories. The age of onset has gone way down in colorectal and other types of cancers. It's gone down to like age 13. We are seeing turbo cancers. We've never heard that term, turbo cancer, ever, you and I. And now we're hearing about turbo cancers. And now suddenly people are jumping on the bandwagon, doing all the things that you and I did as trailblazers in our healing platforms, fasting, diet, nutrition, repurposed drugs, etc. I've been taking hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin for years to help me with my autoimmune disease. My breast cancer, I'm healed of my breast cancer, which is a miracle. And I thank God for it every day. But as you know, it's day by day by day, work, 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 implement, make changes, come back, repeat, do the same thing. So now we're at this place now where there's much more awareness, but we've been the trailblazers in that awareness, and we're here to help whoever needs help. You, me, people we know, people we love that are in our community. We help people. That's what we do.
So let's talk about the help that you're providing right now, because the Annie Appleseed Project is the 501(c)(3 that is helping. How does the Annie Appleseed Project help people, men and women, that are going through a cancer diagnosis or want to prevent?
We provide support in information and advocacy and love for anyone and everyone who has cancer who contacts us. How we do that is usually we talk to them on the phone, we understand their situation, we pray with them if they need prayer, we listen to all the other daunting social needs that they have beyond cancer. We try to find resources for them. We connect with other organizations who are providing what we don't provide firsthand, like health coaches, one-on-one counseling. We have a team of medical doctors, global partners who are practitioners globally in Europe, in Asia, Canada, and Mexico. We have ambassadors who are sometimes retired doctors, retired nurses, others that want to stay involved, and they provide, for the most part, pro bono consults. And then if someone needs something further, it's their choice to come on board as a full-blown patient. But our practitioners and our boards and our teams offer things at either a free first consult or visit, and then a reduced plan to help them with an integrative approach. As we know, a lot of integrative protocols are not covered by insurance, but we're trying to work towards that, you and I and others that are in that lane. I often thought that the government really should have a benevolence fund, or at least a fund that would come alongside of regular insurance benefits to cover the items that are not covered. I know when I went through my protocol from 2000 on, I spent 40,000 of my own money, my own savings, to do the things that I did to get well, because I knew that in my heart, and from research, science, evidence-based protocols that I implemented. And at the Annie Appleseed Project, we have doctors, scientists, researchers coming in from around the world who've been doing this a long time, and they present from the patient perspective. nobody is presenting from the patient perspective. Somehow along the way, the patient kind of got forgotten in the cancer world that we live in. And all the large organizations who are raising money are not really providing um, funds for people to go out and do the things. Some people just call you and say, look, I'm doing chemo. I lost my job. I can't work. I'm so sick. I have two kids at home. I'm going to lose my insurance. I don't know how I'm going to pay a babysitter to take care of the kids when I'm doing my chemo, and I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. So there's a lot of the daunting social aspects of having a disease as well, or the wife or the husband who say to me, my wife left me when she found out I had cancer, or the wife saying, my husband is no longer here. So there's a lot of this going on despite somebody trying to get well. And can you imagine the pressure and the stress that is
Yeah.
counteracting their healing
Yeah.
in those situations?
Yeah.
So we
Absolutely.
we are dealing with that every day by phone. And then we have people writing to us. We have an intake form on our website, um, so that we can gather information and then refer them to either former colleagues who had written a white paper, or spoken at one of our conferences in the past, or current speakers. So we send them to their videos. We have podcasts. We have a YouTube channel. We have lots of information. So we share that information with them as well. And we do what we can. It's one day at a time, one person at a time. And we we do what we can. But I've never seen our phones this way. I've never seen the amount of people coming to us. And we're a tiny, well, I mean, we're global. We reach around the globe. I'm talking to women in Denmark and Sweden and Norway and France and the UK and Nigeria and Uganda. And we're talking to people all over the world through WhatsApp and social media. So we're global, but we're a small little organization, and we have to fundraise to provide all these free services and to host an annual conference where we bring in our community, yours and mine, our community together. It's a beautiful thing, as you know.
It is a beautiful conference. It really
Oh
is.
my gosh. I mean, they're just the love and the encouragement and the education, and being able to sit and have lunch with a doctor. There's no VIP section at our conference, and we provide all these services to. And the most important thing is we have a very generous donor, or a couple of donors, that provide the funds for us to invite anywhere from 30 to 50 people each year to attend our conference for free that have active cancer. Nobody's doing this kind of stuff. Nobody.
Yeah, yeah. So AnnieAppleseedProject.org is where you can find the 501(c)(3). It's a nonprofit group. And so now I really do want to talk about 2026. I mentioned it at the beginning of the class. It's February 26th through 28th. It is jam-packed of information and wonderful people, amazing food, because food is included in the conference. I always am amazed at that how wonderful the whole thing runs. So share a
Aw.
little bit about it, and how can people, because I know that we're doing Lily, and it's for 10% if you put it Lilly, and all of this information is in the description. So get your tickets because they sell out before December, or like in the middle of December. Usually you sell out. And especially if they need a scholarship, right? Because,
Yes.
okay, so share a little bit about this year, some of the speakers, what are those? Can you share some surprises, some spoofs of what's going on? Just share was it the tea? You're drinking tea, share the tea or spill the tea. That's it, spill the tea.
Spill the tea or spill the wheatgrass, right?
Yes, let's do that.
Um, So our conference is the 26th, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 27, 28, West Palm Beach, Embassy Suites by Hilton on Belvedere Road. It's the same hotel we've been at for many, many years.
Beautiful.
The reason we do this at the Embassy Suites is because they come alongside of us and allow us, which most hotels will not do, to offer a strictly plant-based vegan diet. So they offer us the opportunity to work with the chef who takes a lot of my recipes and some new ones, and we cook this. It's not cooked really, it's mostly raw food. And we put alkaline ionized water units on the faucets in the kitchen. So our drinking water is all 10 pH, 9 pH. Glasses, no plastics, no cologne, no perfumes, very clean environment. You come in the doors and you kind of experience what you and I, how we live our daily life, right? With what we put in our body, what we put in our brain. And so we have about 300 people. We sell out pretty much every year. And when you come to the conference, you become part of our community and we become friends. And it's amazing. Our conference really mirrors what most doctors, integrative and otherwise, teach about living daily life. So it's you come in, it's a comfortable, safe place, toxin-free, great food, nutrients, organic ingredients, and education. So that is what we do. And it's a gathering of some of the world's top doctors, researchers, and practitioners who kindly come on their own dime to present and to be a part of caring for patients.
It is a wonderful experience. So the link is below if you want to join us, because I'll be there. I'm looking forward to,
Yes,
as a matter of fact, I already got, I called yesterday, left a message to get my room and spoke to a friend that might share the room with me. So I'm excited. So the hotel is beautiful. The event is amazing. The vendors, the speakers. I've been there. I believe this will be my third year attending
great.
yes, I believe this is my third year attending, and I'm thrilled to be able to attend this year, although I'm missing some family events, but I'm committed to this cause and I'm excited to join forces with the
Thank you.
Appleseed Project. So is there anything that you need? I mean, what are some of the needs that you have at this point for the Annie Appleseed Project?
Well, first of all, I want to say that we're going to be publishing our full agenda tonight.
Mhm.
And so you'll be able to see we have some real surprises this year. So I won't let the cat out of the bag just yet.
Oh, no spilling
Um,
of tea?
no spilling of tea right now, but some of the familiar faces from our board. But we have a really great hot agenda this year, and a lot of fun roundtable discussions that are going to take place. Well, from a lot of people coming from across the pond, you know, from Europe. So it's going to be really great. And we need donations. That's how we survive. Like you, we need people to kind of come alongside of us and believe in our mission. And hopefully, Lily, you and I will be working together to create some smaller regional events across the state of Florida and other parts of the United States with that funding. Our mission is to educate and empower helping people make the right decisions about their biggest asset, which is their body.
Mhm.
So we need people to come and see us. Our audience is comprised of doctors, nurses, practitioners who come for CMEs.
Mhm.
We have people coming with active cancer, people in remission, people who want to come to just have a preventative view, take advantage of meeting our vendors, buying their products, and experiencing their services. As you know, we have a little mini treatment room so people can get an idea of what some of the treatments, the alternative treatments are, like PEMF and PD laser and lymphatic massage and jumping in a little mini sauna with ozone, getting reflexology, foot baths, acupuncture, massage, etc. So they can come into the treatment room during the conference and get like a 5 or 10 minute little session.
Mhm.
And we would love to see you there. You don't have to have cancer to come, and you can be an advocate. You can be a caregiver to someone or a family member who has cancer, or you've gone through cancer yourself and you just want to see what's new on the horizon, because once you have it, it's a life commitment to be good to your body.
Yeah, and it's so much easier to prevent disease than reverse it. So I would say with for me, my goal is to prevent. So even if you don't have cancer, you probably know someone who has cancer that you want to be there to support as well. So for whatever your reason is, I want to encourage you to go to the annieappleseedproject.org. And when you go to the page, it populates up. You can just click and learn which ticket do you want to get? Do you want to be a vendor? Do you want to be an attendee and be able to truly enjoy every aspect that the weekend from camaraderie to food to laughter, and I'm sure a few tears too. But those
Yes.
tears are so cleansing and so needed for us because we have been shamed about our tears. And anytime that there's shame involved, fears involved, and that is such a low frequency, and it just always leads us down the path that um, is not serving our bodies. So we've got about 4 minutes left, and if somebody were to join us right now, and by the way, if you're joining us right now, you want to go to AudieAppleseedProject.org, get your tickets for the February 26th through 28th conference for 2026 and get started. Don't wait because the tickets do sell out. So I'm excited to be a part of this event. I don't know how much I will do at this point, but to be continued. I'm sure to be continued. We'll talk some more with Julia as we get ready for the conference. And so if anybody were to jump in right now, what are some of the takeaways that you want to give them, some pearls and like in 2 minutes?
What's going to happen this year is we're going to have some really interesting panels. We're going to have an ovarian cancer panel, which we've never had before. Ovarian cancer is very difficult cancer. And there is a strong group of women out there who have done a lot of research. They're going to be part of a panel. We have a mistletoe panel, which is also going to be very enlightening with some experts. And we're going to be talking about mistletoe and some other powerful herbs. So there's a whole pocketbook of herbs that can complement mistletoe. Mistletoe, like your mistletoe for Christmas hanging over the doorway. Mistletoe is a powerful immunotherapy. And then we're going to have another panel with some surprise guests are called our Best Answers for Cancer panel with 5 doctors who will answer any question you have from the audience, which is also very, very, very engaging. And the rest you have to come on our website and check out our agenda tomorrow.
Well, I'm sure that today you'll want to do it today because, all of us are curious. And I believe that one of the like the underlying emotion that I feel the entire time that I'm at the conference is curiosity. And that curiosity leads to excitement, and that excitement leads to action. And so I want to encourage all of you to look into it, go to the website, check out their not only their services and who their ambassadors are, their speakers are, and all that, but also make a decision. Make a decision if you want to continue giving your life away and trusting people that will profit from dis-ease, or would you like to go from dysfunction to ease, which was part of our I am the solution process
Yes.
from dysfunction to ease. We all want that and we all deserve it. But many of us, Julia, just don't know that we're worthy for it. And I love the fact that you knew you were worthy and that the people that do get well choose that worthiness, that they know that their body was intended to heal. And I'm so proud of you and to call you my friend, that you are a part of this Trailblazers and you are helping so many people heal and get better. But we have to do it ourselves. That I am in us is part of our solution. I am the solution is part of what I truly believe in. And I do believe that Annie Appleseed Project is part of that solution as well. So thank you so much for being in the classroom today. Once again, you guys all go to annieappleseedproject.org. The event, once again, is February 26th through 28th, 2026. It is right around the corner because you will get
Yes.
so distracted with the holidays. Do it now, because I promise you that if you wait till next year, there may not be a place for you. And we want everybody who wants to come to attend. So thank you, Julia, for everything that you do. And I know, I visualize that room with you. It'll be standing room only, that we will all learn and grow together, and you will be leading the way for us to feel victorious. So thank you.
Thank you, Lily. I love you. You have such a generous heart, and I can't wait to see you soon.
Yes.
So let's talk, and I'm sending you love and kisses.
Awesome. Right back at you. And please remember, we'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott and Julia Chiappetta wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever. Oh, that's good. That was good.
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lillian McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert before taking any steps to improve your life.